The chapter starts with Sanji releasing Robin from Summer's vines with Diablo Jambe. He kicks and destroys the vines. Loki and Luffy, that still wears his original clothes, not Oda's mistake in the last chapter, take the children and their relatives to the western village near where Jarl is. Summers is furious because the plan has gone awry. So he decides to shoot thorns to the children relatives who are still very injured from trying to save the children a little while earlier. But the children decide to line up in front of their relatives to stop the thorns. Fortunately, Zoro arrives just in time and blocks all the thorns. Alright, so the problems that were established in the last couple chapters are being solved now by Zoro and Sanji finally showing up, which is nice because this thorn business was kind of annoying. Luffy grabs with his left hand a lightning bolt from a cloud and uses his right hand as a telescopic sight to keep his eyes on Summers. Then Luffy attacks Summers with a new attack, Gumu Gumu no Dawn Thor Rifle, White Thunder Rotating Bullet. In an effing epic double page, Luffy's giant punch hits Summers savagely and his body is electrocuted at the same time. The attack is so powerful that Summers' body breaks into pieces. We see how Summers loses his teeth as his face splits into several parts. But Summers' suffering does not end here. In another amazing double page, Loki stomped on Summers. LOL. Whoa, alright. Luffy having a huge attack here on Summers, which is pretty cool because Summers sucks. He's just like a despicable psychopath and he definitely deserves this for sure. Now him breaking apart like this, of course, is because he has like that Deep Sea Covenant regeneration stuff that Imu gave him. And as we also talked about yesterday, Luffy is very likely grabbing the lightning that is caused by Loki's devil fruit. It's not like Luffy can just generate lightning, at least yet. Maybe Gear 6 he can, along with fire. We'll see. But Luffy seemingly is aware at this point that you need advanced Conqueror's Haki or whatever in order to like fully damage the Holy Knights and the Gorosei or whatever, but I don't know if he's like actually doing that here. I mean, it is possible because when Scopper was damaging Summers, he didn't like kill him or anything. He kind of just stopped him from regenerating essentially, or made his regeneration slower. So that's very possible what Luffy is doing here as well. And yes, Loki's stepping on him as well, which is great, but I don't think Summers is dead. Like, he's gonna come back from this and probably fight Sanji like we talked about. Then in a little flashback, Jarl remembers what happened when Loki left the Arust Castle after he killed Harold. Jarl explains the fruit that Loki ate to Gaban and Shanks. He says Loki ate the Ryu Ryu no Mi, the dragon fruit, mythical type model Needhog. Whoever eats it will obtain the form of the world's largest dragon. However, the limit to how large one can get wielding its power is dependent on the user's original size. And so, compared to a human, a giant can draw out more of the fruit's potential, and an ancient giant can draw out even more than a giant. At its largest, this thunder-breathing pitch-black dragon is said to be able to turn day into night when it takes flight. But first, let's talk about our favorite artisan Japanese snack subscription box, and that's Sakuraco, because this month's box is Sakura in Bloom, and it's filled with Sakura flavored snacks in honor of the spring season. It also comes with this great booklet that explains all the snacks in the box, along with Japan and its culture. Sakuraco boxes also come with one tableware, and this month it's the Sakura Kozara plate. First, I tried the Sakura Blossom Tea, which pairs with everything in the box, and this actually has real Sakura cherry blossoms in it. This is so cool and aesthetic. It also has a slightly sweet flavor to it, which is really nice. Then I tried the Sakura Shiroku Sandos. These have a great crunch to them with a nice sweetness and subtle tartness. Next, I tried the Sakura Castella, and it has this really nice sweet and slightly sour flavor to it. I know that sounds weird, but it tastes incredible. So guys, check the link in the description to get your very own Sakuraco box, and make sure you use my code Zhoniin to get $5 off your first box. Thanks guys. So this was revealed yesterday as well. Loki did eat the dragon fruit model Needhog. And yes, we did speculate about this for weeks because it was, foreshadowed that this was probably going to be the case. But what we didn't know is that you just become like the biggest dragon, and it's based on how relative in size you are. So an ancient giant becoming the biggest dragon means that he becomes like the biggest living thing in the world, possibly. Also, the title of this chapter is Nidhogg, but in the Japanese kanji it means thunder dragon, and I guess that means that like the lightning and the electricity and all that stuff that we see coming from Loki is coming from his devil fruit. Shanks says, so you guys decided to forbid anyone from eating it due to how dangerous the power is? And Jarl says, no, that's not it. If one attempts to eat it, the guarding hammer Ragnar will interfere. In Elbaf, we have a legend regarding a warring deity who is said to wield the weapon Ragnar. They say he turned into a gigantic dragon and went against the sun god. And beside him was his trusted servant Ratatoskr, the ice squirrel. When the warring deity died, Ratataskr's spirit passed into his master's hammer. And ever since, Ragnar has protected that devil fruit until someone powerful enough could inherit it. So this is pretty fascinating. We didn't know this. So this warring deity was referred to as like the god of war, which, you know, translations, localizations. You're gonna get various iterations of what's being said here, but it's possible that the warring deity who originally had this fruit or turned into a gigantic dragon, you can dissect it as much as you want, might have been the Loki type person that we see in the mural as well, you know, fighting alongside Joy Boy against Emu. And maybe before they decided to team up to go against Emu, Joy Boy and the old Loki, the god of war, the warring deity, butted heads or whatever until they, you know, decided to team up. Now, if it's not that, then this is like pre-Void Century stuff, and this is like the original Loki. And the sun god would be like Nika himself, not even Joy Boy, who ate the Nika fruit just like Luffy did. Again, we don't really know. It's really hard to make this out, but it's either the Void Century or before the Void Century. And something that also makes me think that it might be pre-Void Century is it's saying that Ratatoskr seems to have been like a being that just existed, like this ice squirrel entity, which also confirms that the ice powers that Loki has are coming from Ratatoskr or inside of Ragnar. It says that Ratataskr's spirit passed into his master's hammer after the warring deity died, which means that he became a devil fruit after the fact and then Ragnar ate it, or this isn't a devil fruit and there's like some kind of Cloudbuterman magic soul entity stuff going on. I don't know. I mean, it could be the case, but if we're going off Occam's razor, it's probably just devil fruit stuff going on here. Again, I don't know if this is like happening before devil fruits were a thing and then after devil fruits were made, the warring deity died and then Ratatoskr became a devil fruit, similar to how like Sun God Nika became a devil fruit that Joy Boy winds up eating. I don't know, but you know, I guess we'll get more into this eventually in a few years. But also it's saying that the warring deity went against the sun god. That's probably alluding to the fact that Loki is going to fight Luffy eventually in this arc, I'm assuming. Back to the present, Loki is focused on the sleep-tid monsters. In the absolutely epic final double page of the chapter, Loki shoots a massive lightning attack from his mouth called Thorheim. The attack creates a huge explosion with normal and black lightnings and destroys most of the sleep-tid monsters. The chapter ends with Emu/Gunko looking at Loki, Luffy, and Ragnar as the sleep-tid monsters are vanishing. Then there is a change of scene to Mary Joie. Real Emu is standing in the room of flowers, and we see Emu's furious eyes in the last panel of the chapter. Emu says, "I see. Nidhogg. That's where you've been all this time." End of chapter. So yeah, I forgot to address this yesterday, but yeah, we see Emu in Mary Joie, but Emu is still there taking over Gunko's body, but they just have dual consciousness, which is totally understandable. But as for Emu discovering that the Nidhogg fruit was an Elbaf after 800 years, seems like they should have known this, you know? But then again, I guess Emu is incompetent. And I never really knew if that was Oda's intention to make like Emu, the Gorosei, the world government, just really incompetent, or they're just a victim of him constantly like retconning the story. So in retrospect, it just makes them look stupid. I mean, I'm not saying that they have to be perfect and know everything, but considering that Emu does know everything, you think that they would have figured out that the Nidhogg fruit is in Elbaf this whole time, considering that the freaking god of war who came from Elbaf was the last person to have the fruit. But since Emu is interested in the Nidhogg devil fruit, that makes sense because it's seemingly one of the most powerful fruits in existence. And it probably ties into the greater lore of the Void Century. And I'm sure Emu fought against this thing back in the day too. too, if that person on the mural is in fact a warring entity or the god of war or whatever. But let me know what you think about this chapter in the comments, guys. We'll get more into this on Friday. And if you liked it, please give it a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.